Well, hello again, everybody. Um, Today is November 7th. It's about quarter after 1 in the afternoon. Want to apologize for the delay in the video. Planned on a Tuesday, but somehow a transformer down the street blew and I wasn't able to record or upload a video. And then my personal life has been getting a little crazy lately. I'll spare the details on that. Well, some of the details on that. Got an interesting letter from the 5th District Court of Appeals last week, ordering me to comply with the original child support order. Uh, this is exactly what I was talking about. They're coming after me for money for a kid that's not even mine. However, I'm not doing anything until I have my day in court. And it's scary. I realize that this means at some point I could end up in jail over this. Now let's think about that. You know, they would be willing to put a man in jail for not paying child support for a child that is not his. This is a very real threat that I face, which I find ironic because for the better part of a decade I worked as a security officer because I thought I wanted a career in law enforcement. Here I am, a guy with no criminal record whatsoever. I can't even remember the last time I got a traffic ticket. And they're willing to make a law-abiding citizen into a criminal over this. This is how the legal system works in Florida. And I can't imagine what's going to do. Now, if I do find out that there's a warrant out for me, I'm not going to run. As soon as I know that there's a warrant for me, I will be turning myself in. Because I'm not a criminal. It's amazing. I never ever thought I would see the day where I would be defending my freedom from a very system that I had so much faith in, that I trusted. So much of my life has gone into being a law-abiding citizen and upholding the law and encouraging others to do the same, and now here I find myself a victim of the very system that I used to help. And I really don't know what to do. I did have an attorney step up to help me, Anne-Marie Janusa Law. I'll leave a link to her website in the description below, as well as a link to my GoFundMe campaign, because I really don't know how I'm going to be able to pay her. We're still trying to figure all that out. And I just can't believe that I'm even in this position. I can't believe it. It blows my mind. But thank you to her for stepping up to take my case. She did tell me that she sounds very confident that we can beat this, and that I'll be absolved of all this. But the fear of going to jail is there. I don't know what I would do. I don't want that on my record. But the letter they sent me was a scare tactic. Pay us or go to jail. Is basically what they're saying. If you want to remain a free citizen, you need to pay us. It is. I'm sorry, that's a strong arm tactic. It's extortion. And I'm surprised that they even did that with the pending litigation. They're trying to scare me into silence. Which, if anybody knows me personally, being silent has never been my strong suit. So that's where I stand with that. I did sit in on a case last week on Halloween, just before my appointment with Miss Janusa, and it was an interesting case. The husband in this case, and I'm not going to mention any names out of respect for both parties' privacies, the husband in this case has had 5 deferred contempts. That means on at least 5 occasions he was in contempt of court, and the court system let it go. I heard evidence in this case as an observer. I was not there as a witness. I was merely there as an observer. And it absolutely blew my mind with the testimony I heard and then the ruling that was handed out afterwards. I don't know what's going on here. And it's mind-boggling that from the evidence that I heard, there was clearly a case of contempt on this occasion, but it was ultimately dismissed. I don't know. I don't know. Again, evidence means nothing in family court. It means nothing in family court. I mean, this is the same case that was tied into the police video being dismissed as hearsay that I mentioned last week. But as we all know, in family court, evidence doesn't matter. I mean, look at me. DNA evidence that it's not my kid, and yet here we are. Supreme Court ruling that a presumption of paternity is not valid, and here we are. I'm worrying if any day there's going to be a knock on my door, and the sheriff's department's going to be picking me up to take me to jail. This is the family court system. The innocent pay while the guilty walk, or get paid. Apparently, my case I filed was me going against my ex-girlfriend, which also I want to state for the record because I've seen a lot of news articles. I was never married to this woman. I am so glad that I was never married to this woman. So I want to clear that up because a lot of articles call her my ex-wife. No, she was never my wife, ever. And quite frankly, after this experience and being dragged through the legal system because of this, I will never be married. I don't even want a relationship with anybody because I can't trust anybody. I can't. The American dream of, wife, kids, house with a picket fence, well, the wife part of that for me has been removed from that equation by the Department of Revenue and by the family court system here in Florida. So that's off the table for me. It's single for life. Because I have to protect myself. And this is how I have to think now. Every day when I go out, I'm looking over my shoulder. If I see a police cruiser go by, I wonder, are they here for me? And it's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to live like this. I love law enforcement, but now I have to fear them. And it should not be that way, ever. It's absolutely mind-blowing that I have to deal with this. And I know I'm not my usual happy, jovial self. I haven't slept much at all lately. It's getting worse. I sleep maybe an hour at a time, maybe 2 or 3 times a night now. Most of the time I end up staring up at the ceiling, trying to count sheep or count the little popcorny things on the ceiling to try to go to sleep. I don't want to take sleep aids. I certainly don't want to drink myself to sleep or take any other substances to pass out, because it's not healthy. I should be able to just come home from work, relax, and go to sleep. Now I come home from work and I cringe every time I hear a car go by or a car door. Got cameras up in my house. When I see a police cruiser going down the street, I I start to worry. And I shouldn't have to. I have literally done nothing wrong. I have done nothing wrong. And this is how the state is forcing me to live now. I barely eat. Unfortunately, I've got a little bit of a belly from previous years of enjoying life. That's slowly starting to go down because I can't eat. I'm sick to my stomach all the time with this. I hope none of you have to go through this. And I'm hoping that my battle with the state gets laws passed so that nobody else has to go through this, because it's rough. It's very rough. I go out there every day. I work a little retail job, and I put on the happy face and be cheerful with my customers, with people I meet on the street, and I can't believe this is happening. I really can't. I'm not gonna do that on camera. And yeah, maybe I'm overthinking things. Maybe I'm over worrying. I hope that's the case. I hope that this isn't my new reality. That I could just be jailed because of this. It's absurd to think that an innocent man would go to jail with so much evidence to the contrary. I'm gonna try to post videos on a more regular basis. My schedule has been a little crazy with things going on. And some days it's just impossible to get out of bed, to be honest, with all of this. I've never experienced depression like this. I've never experienced dread on a daily basis like this before. And thank you to my friends and family. Because I couldn't have done this without them. I know you all worry about me, especially since I've gone public with this. But I'll get through it. Somehow, some way, I'll find the strength to get through it. Because there's too many people counting on me, and I'm not going to let you down. So I'm going to cut this video here. Wish me luck. Pray to whichever deity you believe in. Like I said, keep making the phone calls. Your senators, representatives, mayors, judges. Call the White House. The news story, if you Google my name, the news articles pop up from countries all over the world. All over the world. So, as I wrap this up, I do want to address the state of Florida judicial system directly. The news articles have reached the entire world. The entire world is watching you, and how you handle this case reflects on the state of Florida. People are not going to want to come to a state dependent on tourism if you're going to throw innocent people in jail. You have an obligation and a duty, a sworn constitutional oath, to uphold the United States Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you are violating that sacred oath. And you will be held accountable for it. And my next court appearance is November 26th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in the St. Augustine Courthouse here in St. Augustine, Florida, room 351. Everyone is invited to attend. Now, if you do come, please be peaceful. Please be respectful. Don't get yourselves arrested. Not on my account, please. Come. Show them that we will not simply stand alone. That we will band together, and we will show them that we will not be intimidated by a corrupt system. That's all I have for today, folks. I'll try to update you with something more on a regular basis. Still trying to figure it out. I love you all, and God bless, and we the people. It was written for a reason.